Hello and welcome to Let's Get Digital, the game show for modern marketers. And speaking of modern marketers, today we are joined by three very talented contestants. With us on the show today, we have Lorena Morales, VP of Go Nimbly. Oh, and you guys can introduce yourselves after I'll leave a little space for you to say hi.
Oh, sure. I was that's weird. Hi, everyone. As Megan said, I'm Lorena Morales, VP of Marketing at Go Nimbly, the revenue operations company based in San Francisco. Very happy to be here. Let's see how it goes.
We're happy to have you here. We also have with us today Dom Garrett, a creative partner at Creative Northern.
Hey, everybody. Dom, here in the wonderful Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Really excited to, hopefully have a ton of fun and make some new friends along the way.
Oh, that's true. That's the true magic of Let's Get Digital.
Exactly. It's the friendships.
Yes, it's the friendships we made along the way, not who wins or loses. And we're also happy to have with us Taylor Haley, a digital marketing consultant and the secret human behind the camera for IG famous dog, Kirk the Floof.
Hi, guys. He'll probably be hiding away, so hopefully no mailmen or packages get delivered right now, or we'll hear him make an appearance later.
No worries. We're big fans of dogs here at Sculpt. So, and I am your host, Megan Crawford, the growth marketing specialist here at Sculpt. So before we jump right into things, a quick introduction to how things work on the show. There are 10 Let's Get Digital games to choose from, all of them marketing themed, of course. And at the top of every episode, we pick which one we'll be playing today by spinning this wheel.
Oh, fun.
The name of the game is What's Trending. What's Trending is a recent news and current events trivia game about all things digital and social media marketing related. Like all Let's Get Digital games, What's Trending is played in 3 rounds. Each question is worth 1 point, and as we progress through the rounds, the questions get harder and the stakes get higher. The rules are quite simple. You buzz in if you think you know the answer, and if you get it right, you get 1 point. However, if you get it wrong, your opponents have the opportunity to buzz in and steal the point from you, but only once. Finally, if we end in a tie, we will go to a tiebreaker question and settle the scores. That's it. Are we ready to play?
Ready.
Let's do it.
All right.
Here we go.
All right. So round 1. This is a round that I like to call Hello, Goodbye. It's all about new features and platforms, as well as features and platforms we recently said goodbye to. Here is your first question of round 1. On November 17th, 2020, Twitter officially rolled out Fleets, their new Stories feature. But Twitter isn't the only app jumping on the Stories bandwagon. Which of these brands did not announce that they were introducing a Stories feature in 2020? A, LinkedIn, B, Google Search, C, Slack, or D, TikTok? That was Lorena buzzing in first. Lorena, go ahead.
I'm going to say Slack.
That is not correct. Dom, you buzzed in second. Do you want to try and steal the point?
I'm going to go with TikTok.
That is correct. TikTok does not have a Stories feature and hasn't made any announcements about bringing one in 2020. Strangely enough, Slack did announce in early October that they had plans to add stories to their interface by the end of 2020 as a kind of replacement tool for your short meetings that you could just make a small video of instead, which I think that's an excellent idea and I'm on board for it. It's a little strange to call it Stories, but and then also Google Search has what are called web stories, and of course LinkedIn stories were brought in September of this year. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and clear out the buzzards. That was 1 point to Dom, but a very intuitive guess from Lorena.
It was informed.
Yeah.
I knew LinkedIn, I knew Google search, and I'm not.
That's right.
So it was informed. So I was close.
That was a tricky one, I admit. All right, moving on to question 2. Here we go. Touted as a revolutionary startup that would change the way we watch videos, you've probably seen ads for this platform featuring big name stars like Anna Kendrick, Bill Murray, and Chrissy Teigen. What is the name of the short form mobile streaming service that shut down in October 2020, just 6 months after launching? A, Fubo TV, B, Quibi, C, Byte, or D, Cubo? Oh, everyone buzzed in almost at the same time, but that was Taylor first by a hair. Taylor, go ahead.
It was B, Quibi.
That is correct. It was Quibi. They tried to make
Quibi.
Quibi happen.
I know.
But sorry, Quibi's not going to happen. Wow, everybody was real quick on the buzzers on that one. Good job, you guys.
They did
The
a
one
lot
that
of
I did
ads.
They did so many
quick
ads.
on the buzzer.
So many ads.
Oh, man. All right, moving on to the third question. Depending on your offering or industry, you might not have considered Twitter as an advertising platform. And while it's true that Twitter's paid campaigns often leave something to be desired compared to, say, Facebook, they're working to change that. Which of these features did Twitter roll out in early November 2020 for brands buying ads on their platform? A, Carousel Ads, B, native lead forms, C, story ads, or D, shoppable tags? That was, once again, almost all at the same time, but Lorena was in first. Lorena, go ahead.
I'm going to go with A, Carousel Ads.
That is correct. Carousel ads, which are super popular on Instagram and Facebook, are now available for brands on Twitter. You can add up to 6 images or videos if your target audience happens to be on Twitter. Nice job, everybody.
And by everybody,
right.
you mean Lorena. Okay.
Yes, and by everybody, I mean Lorena. Good job, Lorena.
Thank you.
See, the good thing
right.
about buzzing in like second or third is that I could just say that I was totally going to guess that answer.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would have been first. For
But
sure.
it's the timing of it that is so important, is buzzing in quickly so that it looks like you knew the answer, but not so quickly that you have to answer the question.
Right.
That's it. I'm aiming for the middle ground whole time.
All right, we're moving on to our fourth question of round 1. Here we go. Instagram might be leading the charge in the e-commerce shift in social media, but they're certainly not the only ones capitalizing on the trend. Which of these social media apps recently announced a partnership with e-commerce platform Shopify, allowing brands to create in-feed shoppable ads? A, Pinterest, B, TikTok, C, LinkedIn, or D, Twitter? That was Dom first. Dom, go ahead.
I'm going to say Pinterest.
Taylor, you buzzed in second. You want to go ahead and give it a guess?
I believe it was D, Twitter.
Lorena, you can steal the point. What do you think it is?
It was TikTok.
That's correct. It was TikTok.
It was TikTok.
TikTok now has shoppable ads, courtesy of Shopify. Yeah, I'm not sure who's doing e-commerce on TikTok, but hey, if they are, they've got a new tool for it. So
It's right after they do the Renegade, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's for, all of those teens with their disposable income on TikTok.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. That was 1 point to Lorena. And we are moving on to the last question of round 1. Social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter have received criticism for both censoring too much content and not censoring enough, leading to some users looking for alternate platforms where they can speak their minds. What is the name of the free speech Twitter alternative that took the #1 spot for app downloads at the beginning of November? A, Ello, B, WeChat, C, Parlor, or D, Viber? That was Lorena in again first, followed by Dom. Lorena, what do you think?
I want to say WeChat.
Dom, do you want to hazard a guess?
It's Parlor.
It is Parlor. And that's all that I'm going to say about that.
Smart. That's a good one.
So yes, that is all right, guys. That brings us to the end of round 1, which means we are moving right along into round 2. Round 2 is a segment that I like to call Everything is Facebook. Here we go. In mid-November 2020, the team at Facebook rolled out a new resource featuring templates, sound and image libraries, software tools, and original blog content. What is the name of this new website? A, Facebook Stock, B, Facebook Design, C, Facebook Library, or D, Facebook Compose? That was Taylor in first.
I believe it is A, Facebook Stock.
Lorena, you buzzed in second.
No, I think it's Facebook Library.
And Dom, do you want to go ahead and try and steal the point?
Let's go with Facebook Design.
That's correct. It is Facebook Design. Their intention with this site is to be a all-in-one resource for brands and designers, and they have like AR and AI tools and software, as well as diverse device stock photos. So different hands holding the 3 generations old iPhone. You can go and look at it. It's it's a it's a thing that exists.
I will after this.
Canva Lite, yeah, I would definitely recommend using Canva instead. But all right,
Canva,
moving on to
the show.
Yeah.
moving on to the second question. While you can already monitor your business's customer engagements on Facebook apps, WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger, Facebook app, etc., through Facebook Business Manager, Facebook recently expanded its customer relations service offerings with a recent acquisition. Which omni-channel CRM did Facebook acquire at the end of November 2020? A, Customer, B, NetSuite, C, Zendesk, or D, Zoho? That was Lorena in first. Lorena, go ahead.
A, Customer.
That's correct. It was A, Customer. Facebook announced this acquisition right at the end of November 2020. And Customer is a CRM that brings customer conversations together from all over the web, regardless of whether which channel they're on, which is something that Facebook previously was not able to do. So that is why they are now able to have all of that kind of in a one screen view for Facebook business managers.
Yep, a very cool company too, by the way, backed up by Cisco Ventures. So if you have the time, check it out. The team is absolutely fantastic.
That's awesome. It sounds like it's really going to be good for people who use Facebook Business Manager and who have customers kind of in places outside of Facebook apps. So.
Yep.
I heard that
That's
the two
great.
founders of that also have already sold another company to Salesforce, back in the day too. So it's just wow. Hey, looks like they know how to do acquisitions. So,
Good for them.
yeah, right.
Honestly, good for them. All right, moving along to question number 3. We mentioned earlier that Instagram is leading the charge toward e-commerce on social media platforms, and in doing so, they've made just about every feature of their app shoppable. To further lessen the friction between logging in and loading up your shopping cart, Instagram recently made some layout changes. As of November 2020, which of these is not a tab on the new navigation bar in Instagram? A, Cart, B, Discover, C, Shop, or D, Reels? That was Lorena in first.
D, Reels.
Dom, do you want to take a guess?
I believe that it is C, Shop.
And Taylor, go ahead and try and steal the point on this one.
It's B, Discover.
Okay, that's a no-sum question.
I'm looking now.
The question was, which of these is not on the navigation
I totally
bar?
did not listen.
That's okay. So it's A, cart. There is an Instagram cart. There's now a shopping cart like in the app, but you can't access it from the navigation bar. You have to either go into the shopping tab or go through your profile. Everything is Facebook, even things that are not technically Facebook, like the new trend on TikTok of using a particular third-party messaging app to auto-caption videos. Most of the appeal being the funny way in which the app censors curses with bleeps and strings of unintelligible syllables. What's the name of this Instagram messaging app that went viral at the end of November 2020 because it was used on TikTok? A, AutoCap, B, Clips, C, Rev Captions, or D, Threads? That was Taylor in first.
D, Threads.
That's correct. It is Threads. Originally, the idea for Threads was just a messaging app for your inner circle, like a video messaging app. But now it's a production tool for TikTokers, which was what we call in marketing the circle of life. You create something, it gets used by one of your competitors, is how it goes.
We actually used it on like, and again, this doesn't have to be on video, but like we actually used it for like our stories on Instagram for my last company that I worked with. So executives could subtitle at like conferences and stuff as well.
That's nice.
So it made it where you had like the live captions that everyone says you need without having to spend a lot of time with captioning.
That's cool. That's good.
So I cheated. I knew that one.
That's not cheating. That's called industry knowledge. All right. Here we go. Fifth question of round 2. In early November, Facebook caused a major headache for marketers with mass ad rejections, likely caused by an automation process gone awry in the midst of pre-election precautions. While the majority of these rejections were in error, there is a pretty long list of items and topics that are banned from Facebook ads that could have resulted in a legitimate strike. Which of the following is not currently banned in Facebook ads? A, CBD and cannabis. B, non-medical grade masks. C, vapes and e-cigarettes. Or D, pharmaceuticals. That was Lorena in first. Lorena, go ahead.
Pharmaceuticals.
Dom, do you want to guess?
CBD and cannabis.
Taylor, goes back to you again.
I'm gonna go with it that vapes and e-cigarettes are not. No, I'm messing this up.
No, this one is B, non-medical grade masks. So these were banned at the beginning of the pandemic situation back in March.
Wow.
And they removed the ban, and now it's only restricted. So you can't advertise like actual medical grade masks, but cotton masks, as long as they cover the nose and mouth, you're totally good for. I mean, obviously, do your research, but so
we did,
CBD and cannabis you can't do.
Yeah, we did a bunch of stuff with the with like news and information around vapes and e-cigarettes, and we kept getting blocked. Like even just putting out like a news story, so I would have to like be like, "Hey, I'm not trying to sell them. I'm just we're trying to talk about them." It's like, okay, I guess so.
Yeah, they have pretty heavy restrictions about anything tobacco related.
Oh,
yeah.
So in other words, I should not be down to the last two because I miss it every time.
No,
I feel like Megan, you should get those points.
Yeah, you should get points.
If you end up winning at the end, like if we all miss them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll take the point for that one. All right, here we go. We are moving into round 3, everybody. And round 3 is a little something I like to call, wait, which brand did that?
Yes.
So here we go. Question number 1. TikTok is kind of a weird space for brands still, but the brands who are crushing it know exactly how to stop thumbs scrolling, and it'll probably come as no surprise that they do it by using user-generated content. Like this brand that went viral over the Thanksgiving holiday by reposting an original song about homemade cranberry sauce and why nobody likes that ish. A, Bon Appetit, B, Trader Joe's, C, Ocean Spray, or D, Whole Foods. That was Dom in first. Dom, go ahead.
I'm going to say it was Trader Joe's.
Taylor, do you want to go ahead and guess?
I'm going to say it was Bon Appetit.
Lorena, buzzing in there. Go ahead and make a guess.
It was Whole Foods.
It wasn't, actually. It was Ocean Spray.
Ocean Spray
the cranberry
brand. Thing again? Come on.
It was Ocean Spray. They reposted a video about how nobody wants homemade cranberry sauce. They want the weird jiggly stuff out of the can, which, for the record, I don't think is true. I happen to enjoy homemade cranberry sauce, which is why I have 4 mason jars full of it in my fridge at home. And on an entirely unrelated note, does anybody want some cranberry sauce?
I'm going to say, and the additional prize this week.
The additional prize this week for the winner, you're actually going to get mailed 4 mason jars full of Sculpt brand cranberry sauce.
Ooh,
can you imagine?
Gosh. Man, I knew I should have watched more TikTok before this.
All right. Here we go. Into question 2. Smart devices are a well-established part of our tech landscape. Everything from smart watches to home assistants to Wi-Fi-enabled refrigerators. And we already know that these devices are listening to us. But did you also know that some of them might be sharing your internet with your neighbors? Which brand is responsible for the new auto-enabled feature called Sidewalk that borrows a small portion of your internet's bandwidth and creates a separate network for its nearby supported devices? A, Google, B, Amazon, C, Facebook, or D, Apple? Dom in first, go ahead.
I'm going to say it's Google.
Lorena, you buzzed in second.
I'm going to say it's Amazon.
That is correct. It is Amazon. Once again, unsurprisingly, being super lax with our personal data. Amazon announced to its users that they would be rolling out Amazon Sidewalk to all Amazon Echoes and Ring cameras. So this is an auto-enabled feature that shares a small portion of your internet from each device. It shares a small portion of your internet with other nearby Amazon Rings and Echoes, and creates its own separate network, which people can log into. And so this is a reminder to anyone who has an Amazon Echo or a Ring camera to go and turn off that auto-enabled feature. So that was 1 point to Lorena, Silicon Valley advantage there. All right, here we go. Question 3. As marketers, we're not exactly risk averse. The history of marketing is full of campaigns that were shocking, racy, controversial, and, of course, effective. Sometimes, though, your customers just don't get it. Which brand launched the tongue-in-cheek but short-lived campaign #SendNudes in early October 2020, inviting their customers to send free noodles to a loved one to show they care from afar? A, Barilla, B, Kraft, C, Maruchan, or D, DeCecco? That was Dom in first. Dom, go ahead.
Is it Kraft?
It is Kraft. This was Kraft. They created a campaign where they were going to send a box of their signature Kraft Blue Box mac and cheese if you retweeted or commented with #SendNudes, and they would send a box of macaroni and cheese to your loved ones. But they pulled the campaign after outrage from a lot of internet moms who claimed that the campaign was too racy and suggestive.
I would have loved to be in that pitch meeting to just see like that has to be like Don Draper level pitch to get like executive to be like,
they must have pitched it really well. Yes. I think that was aimed more towards probably like the college student demographic of their customer base. And then the moms were like, no, not here for it.
Yeah. I don't know. In college, I couldn't afford the actual blue box crap.
Yeah.
Like,
I would have loved a free box of mac and cheese during college. That would have been excellent.
For sure.
All right, here we go with the second to last question of round 3. Boldly going where no ad has gone before, NASA has earmarked 90 hours of crew time for commercial and marketing activities. It's not exactly marketing in space, but it's pretty dang close. In October of this year, it was announced that NASA astronauts would be taking photos and video of a bottle of expensive face serum in zero G. Which of these skincare companies sent the serum into orbit? Okay, and please excuse me, skincare fanatics, if I pronounce any of these wrong. A, Cogendo, B, L'Occitane en Provence, C, Estee Lauder, or D, Lancôme. That was Lorena buzzing in first.
I want to say L'Occitane en Provence.
Taylor, you buzzed in second.
I'm going to say D, Lancôme.
Dom, do you want to hazard a guess?
Let's go Estee Lauder.
It was Estee Lauder.
Hey.
Estee Lauder sent several bottles of their $105 product called Advanced Night Repair Synchronized Multi-Recovery Complex into space. And that product is so expensive purely because of packaging alone, I imagine. Just getting all of those words onto a single bottle must be astronomical. So they sent
astronomical.
I see what you did there.
So they sent those up to the International Space Station. The astronauts, however, are not allowed to use the product because they are government employees and they cannot be seen sponsoring a product. They can only take pictures of it. So no $105 face serum for astronauts.
Do you think any of them did like and here it is?
Yeah,
the get the camera to focus thing.
Yeah. Here it is.
With their like big gloves that they're wearing out there.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if they took the pictures inside the space station or outside of the space station. I feel like it had to have been inside because they can't be featured in the photos.
If they're spending that much money on it, I think they could figure out a way.
Yeah,
That's
I wonder
the
what that
tier, actually.
Yeah.
If you wanted to get it outside of the space station.
I'm very curious about what the budget on that marketing campaign looks like. It must be, not to reuse the same joke, but astronomical.
I should have known this. I'm so embarrassed, but yeah.
Well, I did choose all of the most expensive skincare companies that I could find. And of course, they all have very difficult to pronounce names. So I did this to myself, really. All right, moving on to the final question of the game. Slack has been a topic of popular conversation online and specifically on this show. No, we're not sponsored by them, although, hello, Slack, you can change that anytime you want. For their odd sneaker collab with Cole Haan earlier this quarter. However, this week, they took the spotlight for a different reason altogether. Which of these brands announced on December 1st, 2020, that they would be acquiring Slack? A, Salesforce, B, Microsoft, C, Oracle, or D, Facebook? Wow, everyone buzzed in almost exactly at the same time. But first in, we had Dom. Dom, go ahead.
It was Salesforce.
It was Salesforce for $27.7 billion. Salesforce acquired Slack, and they will be using it as the new interface for their Salesforce Customer 360 users. So good news for Slack and good news for Salesforce. I don't think it changes anything about anyone who uses Slack just as their IM for their company, but, TBD.
Yeah, I was going to say, am I going to need to hire somebody to set up a Slack channel for us?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If you use a different CRM, you can no longer use Slack. No. None of that's true.
Don't even put that out there.
Unsubstantiated. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the game, everyone. And I will go ahead and reveal scores now. We had Taylor with 2 points, Lorena with 4 points, and our winner, Dom, with 6 points. So congratulations to Dom for winning, and thanks so much to Lorena and Taylor for joining us. I hope you had as much fun as I did. This was a really fun episode to film. And Dom, in addition to winning a week's worth of coffee on Sculpt and all of my leftover cranberry sauce, we will also be making a donation to Imagine MKE's Holiday Artist Relief Fund on your behalf.
Awesome.
For anyone who doesn't know, Imagine MKE is Milwaukee's coalition of arts, culture, and civic leaders. This Holiday Artist Relief Fund is part of their ongoing efforts to support artists and creatives who continue to be displaced from jobs, gigs, and exhibitions due to necessary public health response to COVID-19. So a super worthy cause to donate to, and we're happy to give on your behalf, Dom.
Awesome. That's so great. Thank you so much for doing that. That's so cool. And everybody support your local artists and local business.
Yes, everyone support local businesses, support local artists. We don't want to live in a chain restaurant hellscape when all of this is over. So if our viewers are interested in following or connecting with any of you, where can they find you online?
Let's start with a winner, Mr.
I'm on Instagram and Twitter, all my social profiles. It's at Dom Garrett, Garrett. And you can find our work at Creative Northern at creativenorthern.com.
Awesome.
For me, you can find me, same thing, Twitter, and my handle is at Morales Lorena SF. You can find me on LinkedIn, or you can find me at my company website, gonimbly.com. Reach out whenever you want.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Tay Haley, so TAYR Haley, HALEY. And then if you want to see some cute dog photos, you can follow Kirk the Floof at Kirk the Floof on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys, for joining us. This has been such a fun episode. And to all of our viewers, new episodes of Let's Get Digital go up every other Monday. So we will see you all next time on Let's Get Digital, the game show for modern marketers.